quite simple.
Nothing that is meant for you will ever get away. Love deeply and without the need to possess or own. Let beautiful connections pass through you without attachment. Slam your heart into the people and the places and the things that ignite something deep inside of your soul. You will never, ever lose what is for you. Please don't ever forget that. It's really that simple. Nothing that is meant for you will ever get away. Oh, I promise the right things will stay. Nothing that is meant for you will ever get away. Please don't ever forget that. You want to see how I made that? I'll give you a full breakdown on how we made that little video right there. You're going to want to stick around. All right. What's good, everyone? If you are new here, my name is XherdAliko. I am a filmmaker and welcome to the channel. This is a series that I've kickstarted that shows you an entire breakdown from start to finish on how to edit a spec ad. I show you how to do this with just utilizing only stock footage. I document my full process via live stream on this exact channel. And this right here, what you're watching right now, is kind of like the full recap video and breakdown via on the main feed. So far, I've made a Ferrari spec ad, a boxing spec ad, and now this is our third one, a heartwarming spec ad about love. With a little introduction and recap to this series, let's get into the breakdown. So the idea and the concept, how do I come up with these kind of ideas and concepts for my spec ads? It's pretty simple. I try to keep everything very broad because I'm treating the motion array library essentially as my footage library, and it helps me kind of try to put clips together in a bunch as I'm going through and browsing. So for this very spec ad, basically my idea and the concept was I want to make a video about love. All I knew going into this is I wanted to make a heartwarming, kind of feel good spec ad about love. The next part that kind of helps me kind of simplify this idea down even further, which is the script, an excerpt that I want to use that's going to help guide the narration. I had one perfect for this, so I knew I wanted to make something about love, and I had the perfect excerpt, which is this paragraph right here. And in the beginning, it just helped me pick the overall clips that I wanted to utilize for this spec ad. And I'll show you later on in the video of what I use this one excerpt for. But for now, let's get into the breakdown now. My editing process is separated into 3 phases. Phase 1 for me is kind of what I call the rough cut. This is where kind of the foundation and the overall structure of the full video gets constructed, and we have the bulk of the foundation already set. Pre-logistics for spec ads I already know. You want to keep spec ads to be from anywhere from 1 minute to 1 minute and 30 seconds max. So where do I start with this? Yes, the first thing is to have your clips ready to go, what you want to utilize for this video. But then the second thing that I immediately go to is the main soundtrack. Yo, I swear, why is there so many ads? I'm so sorry. That just ruined the illusion of what I got going on back there, but whatever, we keep going. Picking that main track could take from anywhere from 5 minutes, 10 minutes to a couple of hours for me. There's 3 things that when I'm hearing a song that I look for its pacing, if that changes, if that stays the same, if it keeps me engaged, if it's the overall pace that I want for this kind of video. 2, the build-ups. I don't want it to be super hyped all the time. I don't want it to be super mellow all the time. I want it to build up, shoot up, boom, and then also have mellow points. points and stuff like that. So the buildup is truly, truly important. Keep an ear out for those. And then 3, the open space, where the track isn't all up in your face all the time. It allows you to kind of fill the gaps with other things like the sound design, sound effects, voiceovers, and that's truly, truly important. And they can go hand in hand with the buildups and things like that, but those are the 3 kind of points that help me kind of pick out the track that I want to use. This was kind of the process of picking the track. I'll pass it off to StreamJerd to tell you more of what we did. Don't worry, you'll see me again. I'll come back after he's done.
Don't exaggerate.
This was what I was trying to think. I was thinking of trying to do something with just raw vocals and then intertwine it with the voiceover.
But I don't exaggerate.
But it's so important of like what the lyrics are if you're gonna do this.
All these feelings, I have all these feelings, and it's not always fun.
It could work and it could be dope if like eventually the whole beat comes in. Not the vibe. Vibe I'm going for, I would say I need it to hit here. Hit here. I need it to, that's how I kind of describe it. I can describe it the best. Just, it needs to, you feel it a little bit here in your throat, then you feel it in where it hurts. Yeah, this one's a really, really good song. I think that one was one that I really wanted to use. I love that. I think we should match up the beat for sure. Like this, like dun. let me try to explain this. Like dun 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 dun. And then keep switching the couples. Oh, I love that. All right, we're gonna do that. All right, sweet. So the main track has been selected. We know what we're gonna be utilizing for this particular edit, and now fit it to the duration that we want this video to be. But my basic structure with a video like this is what my head kind of always kind of leans towards when it comes to one of these type of edits, especially with the spec ad. A quick intro to suck you right in, the middle bulk that tells the overall story, the conclusion, the end, that's gonna leave you satisfied and glad you stuck around. And you might think, cool, it's cool, simple enough, right? And yeah, it's been simple enough for the past 2 kind of overall spec ads that we did, the Ferrari one and the boxing one. But for this one, it was a little bit different. For this particular edit, I finished the whole stream in a full first draft, and then second stream when we were supposed to move on to phase 2, I completely hated the direction we were going with, so I completely switched it. I don't know how I'm feeling about the multi. I may just do a single frame. Yeah, I'm liking this little frame, this film frame, a lot better than the white. I do like the white. This is what it looks like before. It's good. I like the concept. It's good. I feel like this looks a lot more professional, and we can play around with it a lot more. Add in our phase 3, just kick it off like a film roll and stuff like that. So I think I like this. Yeah, I think I like this. This happens a lot when you're editing, but there's been multiple times where I'm editing and then I'm trying so many different new things, and after a while, it just doesn't work out because I'm just starting to hate what it's looking like. That's editing for you and stuff like that. But trust me, I made it so much better. Maybe it was just the framing of the multi-screen that I don't like now, rewatching it one more time, and I feel like it just looks more professional just to keep it a singular frame. That's a decision you make and you kind of run with it. But when you're trying to be creative and you're making those type of decisions, then you try to make it look the best it could, and not amateurish, cornyish, but professional. I heard this quote once: if they try to blow your mind in 30 seconds, in 10 seconds, in 5 seconds, they're always trying to blow your mind, and they're trying to pull out all of the skills they have on a particular edit. They're just showing off. Basically, it's an ego thing of I can do this better than other videographers or other video editors. It scares people to keep it simple. I always just watch it back from a different perspective and see if it really even is necessary to include, if it's a particular effect, if it's a particular shot, and if it's not, then I take it out. I always try to keep it simple as possible. But here, this is the recap. This is what we had last week. It's not bad. I feel like there's a lot going on. I think that was a sheer, yeah, that's like a sheer example of how I go through it, and then maybe make it a little bit more simple, because there's already a lot of moving parts to this. But then I try to slow it down. The overall structure remained the same. The track stayed the same. The overall way the clips came in, the intro, the middle part, and then the conclusion stayed the same, but I kind of simplified the way we framed it. That was the thing we needed. It really did its thing. With that, phase one is finally complete. We thought we were making progress, then we kind of went backwards a little bit, and that happens. But now we are officially ready to move on to phase two. So now, phase two for my process is the sound design phase. And you might be thinking, we already have the main track and we already have that little scratch noise you've added into this edit. What more can we need for this sound design? Yo, that's only 1/3 of kind of the sounds that kind of make up a video, in my opinion. 1, the main music tracks. 2, the sounds of the world around us, and 3, the narration or the voiceover. You remember that excerpt we started out with? This is how we kind of recorded the voiceovers. All right, 3, 2, 1. It is quite simple. Nothing that is meant for you will ever get away. Love deeply and without the need to possess or own. Let beautiful connections pass through you without attachment. Slam your heart into the people and the places and the things that ignite something deep inside of your soul. And I promise the right things will stay. You will never lose what is for you. Please don't forget that. I went too fast. I went way too fast. I need to drag this out. I need some spaces. That was take one. That was a bad one. I'm trying to use the music, but I'm glad I did that for the first take to know the speed, right? Because it's going to get chopped up. It is going to get chopped up. But I don't know. That was a bad take. That was a bad take. All right, let's try it one more time. It's quite simple. All right, a little Scottish accent here. No, I'm not doing that. Throw a little accent here. I'm not doing that. I'm like too excited, so I need to feel warm. Feel like you're talking about something. I'm a freestyle a lot more, like to fill the parts and like add stuff. If whatever feels right. 3, 2, 1, playback. It's quite simple. Nothing that is meant for you will ever get away. Love deeply and without the need to possess or own. Let beautiful connections pass through you without attachment. Slam your heart into the people and the places and the things that ignite something deep inside of your soul. And I promise, oh, I promise the right things will stay. You will never, ever lose what is for you. Please don't ever forget that. It's really that simple. Nothing that is meant for you will ever get away. Please don't ever forget that.
Was that good? Was that good? Yo, I think I freestyled like the little parts to fill it in. I think I like that one. I like that one a lot. Yo, I like that take. All right.
That's the one we ended up utilizing anyways. But yeah, now inserting this voiceover onto the track, like into the edit, is the next part that I do before I do the rest of the sound design. This can get a little bit complex at times because I still had to cut it up and splice it up in ways that would fit into the overall edit in the way I wanted it to. It's kind of like a dance, right? With the main track and the narration, where the voiceover kind of shines. You want to kind of allow it to breathe. Don't fight. Don't make them fight over each other. That's the one tip that I can give you. Split up the voiceover however you need to and try to fit it into the pocket the same way as kind of a musician fits their voice on an instrumental. That's kind of what you are doing here to find the right places where it kind of all meshes together.
Chopping it up to fit the pacing of the track. Finding those pockets where the voiceover is welcomed. That is basically how I figure out where it needs to go. But this is one of the most important times to allow the track to control and to tell you where things are necessary, where things should go. The voiceover, it's filling gaps, working in a hand-to-hand partnership with the track. They're dancing hand in hand. It's a ballet. There's two people dancing hand in hand. Where the music track shines, the voiceover kind of be its supporting cast. Where the music track kind of subdues, kind of takes a break as it slowly builds up, that's when it switches from the main forte, the main character, to the secondary character, and the voiceover kind of shines and takes over that stage. You know what I mean? This is like my art. This is my art, right? At the end of the day, I'm bringing all these forces together for a common goal. Like a sculptor brings all his materials together, the same way as a painter brings all his materials together to create something. Videographer and video editor, cinematographer does the same things. And these are my materials. Hey, what can I tell you? There's millions of other ways to do it, to think about it. This is just how I kind of think about it. But yeah.
Finally, once that voiceover is then put together, the only thing that's left over for you to do in the sound design aspect, and what we did, is kind of the sounds of the world around us. Stock footage is muted anyways. There's no sound at all. So you're kind of working with a blank canvas. And in this edit, we're working with a lot with couples in different environments. Of some are in their house, some are out in the world. The sounds of the world around them is pretty simple.
First thing we need for sound design for this is a camera flash. That's perfect. Now we're in the bathroom.
The only thing I'm thinking about with these sounds is like that final bit of texture on top of the sound, all the way in the background. They are not the forte whatsoever. The voiceover and the main soundtrack are the kind of our star players here. So now the open spaces where we can kind of put a little sprinkle of texture when it comes to the sounds, that's what we are looking for. And we're going through the overall edit to find these places to kind of sprinkle in those sounds wherever we go. And this is really when you want to lean into like the open space of what you have left in the overall edit. Oh, I promise the right things will stay. Nothing that is meant for you will ever get away. Please don't ever forget that.
And just like that, we have gotten phase 1 and phase 2 done on this edit.
We are ready for our final phase, which is phase 3. And phase 3 for me is where I like to do the color grading, the transitions, the effects, and the overall graphics for a piece.
I use a plugin called Enhancer. But since we have multiple clips, we're gonna have to focus on one clip and then we'll focus on the other clip afterwards. And these clips, yes, they're not shot in a log format, so I don't think I'm gonna need to do a lot to them. But I'll add like a little look to them. There's a lot of, ooh, this is cool too. This has a lot of good film stocks and they give you a lot of good ones. I'm not doing black and white. Look at here in the highlights, right? This I feel like really was what separates this plugin, the Enhancer, from like regular plugins, because it makes it not look cheesy and it makes it look legit just by this simple click. Watch the highlights really quick. You boom. It compresses it exactly how film compresses it. And this right here, especially if you're like outdoors, really, in my opinion, is what takes this to be believable as like a film simulation.
I made a full video on the plugin Enhancer right here. If you have not checked it out already, it's on my channel. I ended up utilizing it basically for the full color grade for each individual clips and each individual couple, like a look, not taking it too far, but just enough to kind of also bring them all together one final time, or to really feel like they're not stock footage, they're not foreign, they were shot all together on the same cameras for the same project and things like that.
It's not shot in a log format. The best you can do is like something like this, right? You don't want to, you can't over tweak it because then you can damage the footage. But yeah, I love before after, and it works so well. I think, all right, where we start with it, we started here and we brought it to here. See, there's a difference from at least from a certain point from where it started to where we're bringing it. So yeah, I like that a lot. I like where that is. Before, after. So not huge difference, but enough. See, I knew it. I knew it was gonna look good. With it, without it, with it, without it, with it. It looks so sick. Alright, I think that's cool. Before, after. Yeah, that looks so sick. Okay, but I think the color grading is basically done.
And then for transitions, I just did very basic film burns, so I didn't want to do too much, and we already kind of framed it up to be in that kind of filmic world already, so that's all I kind of added to when it comes to transitions after I finished the color grading and things like that. For the graphics, basically I just stuck to captions. Basically all you do to do this is to create a transcript with the overall kind of voiceover that you have in an edit, then turn that transcript into captions, and then just physically just personalize it in the way you want it to look. I ended up just going with basic white captions just to give it that little extra piece of, it just was another thing that I felt like added to the video. But I could have simply just stopped here and not added the graphics as well. But I do like the graphics, helps emphasize the voiceover and the narration a little bit more. But I didn't really do too much. That was the end of phase 3. After all that, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, we have completed the spec ad. That was it. After phase 3, I just kind of watch it at least like 100 times. Not 100 times. I watch it a good like 5 to 10 times just to make sure if I need to do a little tweaks here and there, if there's hiccups, if I missed something and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm very happy with how it came out. It was really dope. But yeah, thank you everyone that kind of followed me along throughout the 4 streams to get this done. But I will always make this kind of main feed video, YouTube video, to kind of recap the whole thing. I just want want to say this again, and especially if this is the first video that you've watched, this series is meant to showcase my full editing process when it comes to editing videos. Also, show you guys an alternate, kind of more affordable way you guys can create your own spec ads that you can utilize or you can add to your portfolio to land more clients. I will be making more of these for sure moving forward. I would love to also turn this into a little like battle series as well. So if there's any creators that, or any videographers and editors you would want me to go head to head with on this sort of kind of challenge, I think that'd be cool. But yeah, I'll definitely be making more of these. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. It helps me out so much. Please leave a like. Also, if you enjoy this series, if you enjoy this type of video, it helps me a lot to just see feedback and things like that. With that being said, stay safe, everyone. Always do what you love, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.